And go. Everybody, welcome to the Knitting Posse podcast. This is number 22. I can't believe it. I'm Laura.
I'm Kim.
I'm Kate.
And I'm LORIEN. And we're really excited to share a couple of things with you. The first of which is, if you've watched any of our podcasts, there's a good chance I've talked about Tara Lynn, our friend from Playful Day Yarns. And Tara Lynn and I met when I purchased some yarn from her, and she ended up refulfilling it because my dog, my puppy, climbed up to the counter and swallowed 2 mini skeins whole. And we became friends through that. She actually sent me a full replacement, which I didn't even ask for. I just posted on my story the barfed up yarn, truly yarn barf. And so in exchange for her generosity and friendship, I said, Tara Lynn, please let me knit you something. And I probably begged her for the better part of a year until she picked a project and sent me these 4 skeins of yarn. You can see I'm in the middle of working them. This is her Merino DK, and Tara Lynn is generously going to participate with us in a giveaway. We are going to set up a thread in our Ravelry group. I think it's just Knitting Posse. Okay. And we're going to set up a thread. And what you're going to do is, because it's the season of generosity, you are going to put your name, put a comment in the thread and nominate someone else to receive this yarn. So the recipient or nominee will receive 4 skeins in any combination of these colors. It could be all 4 in one of the colors. It could be any combo of these colors. And Tara Lynn is giving that away. Tara Lynn is across the country from us. She's in Petaluma, California. And the person who makes the nomination, so you putting the comment in, are going to get a skein from me donated. This is Skein Cocaine. These are works of art. Skein Cocaine. This is her special in Cash Luxe Aran base. It's really bright. It's going to make a gorgeous hat. It's 80-10-10 Superwash Merino, 10 Cashmere, 10 nylon, 180 yards. So it's a pretty generous amount. It will make a really fun hat. So that's what the person who is, when you put the comment in, that's what you become eligible for. And we'll open up a thread. And we just think it's a really nice thing to do. If you're making gifts, there are a million gift alongs. It wasn't plenty of cows to do. We just want to give something away in celebration of friendship. So that's part one. The other thing we did, Kate and I, we were all invited. Kate and I were available to go one weekend, and our friend Leslie, who is Knitter433 on Instagram, go follow her. She was visiting. She's originally from Connecticut. She was visiting from North Carolina, where she lives now, and her aunt Pat was with her. And she set up a get-together, a meetup, a knitting meetup. And we met the 2 of them, and we met Kevin and Ray from Needles at the Ready, who also live in Connecticut. And we met at a gorgeous day in a beautiful park and sat and talked and knit. And we just had so much fun. And it was a treat. This is something the 4 of us do from time to time. And so it got us thinking, maybe we can squeeze another one in. So watch our Instagram account, which is knitting_posse. We're thinking November 1st, probably somewhere in southern-ish or mid-Fairfield County, I'll call it. But watch our account, and we will, if we can get our calendars together and organize ourselves, then we will be hosting a meetup to knit together on November 1st, and we'll announce the details in our Instagram.
Obviously weather dependent too. If it's freezing or raining, won't happen.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I think those are the details that we wanted to cover up front. Don't forget to like and/or follow or subscribe to this if you are enjoying it. And we always appreciate comments. It's my favorite thing to do in the first few days after it's been posted. I love to go and read the comments because they're usually nice and friendly. So please feel free. So first off, what we're wearing, and Kim is up first.
I'm wearing my Aldos today. I know I showed it last podcast by Isabell Kraemer, and I love it. I know I said it last time, but I wear it to work. It's hardy. I'm very hard on it at work, and it can handle the beating. But one of my faves. So happy to wear it again.
Kim, is that the fiber company yarn?
Oh, thank you, Fiber Company, Aaron Moore Light. I love the flex in it. They're
Yeah,
pretty.
so beautiful.
Mhm.
It's hardy,
Great-
but it
great
also has
color.
a lot of cashmere in it.
Yeah, like I it's against my bare skin right. Against my bare skin right now, and it's not itchy at all. It's
Yeah.
very soft.
It's a great color for you too. I
Oh,
love it.
thanks.
Very
Yeah,
flowery.
thank you. Thanks.
Yep.
Kate, we're skipping over you. You're not wearing
Yes,
anything.
I am wearing shirt by J. Crew.
Excellent. Lorianne, what are you wearing?
I am wearing, I called this invert because usually when you do color work, your color work is where the multicolor is. But I wore this in honor of our giveaway, and I've been wearing it a lot lately. It is mostly knit in Skein Cocaine's special, which is a yarn that she puts, I want to say around 30 plus different colors into. And that's what the giveaway is as well. And it's a combination. I took some of the measurements out of the Tin Can Knits Strange Brew recipe, and the pattern motifs come from the Sandoval sweater from, I want to say This Bird Knits, I think. So I knit it this winter. It's in an earlier episode.
Beautiful.
And I'm 90% sure that I wasn't actually wearing this the last
You
podcast.
weren't.
Did need to check. Okay, I know it was very close to finish. So this is, it's so hard to show things on a Zoom camera. This is the Oxalis. It's Oxalis by Paper Moon Knits. I believe I test knit this, and I believe it hasn't been published officially, but I know it's coming soon. She had said mid-October to late October. And I did check on Ravelry. It's not up yet, but it's probably soon. The yarn is Stolen Stitches Newer Worsted, and it's in this, I think it was called Cafe Flamingo. It's this really bright pink, which kind of shocks me how much I like it, and actually how much I realized I really should wear a little more color, because as I get older and paler and grayer, a little color boost is a good thing. But this was so much fun to knit because there's this beautiful, I have a white shirt on underneath this. There's this beautiful sort of lace and cable pattern, and then just down the underarms, there's just the cable pattern. So when you're knit, it's top down, and when you're knitting on this part, it's just so nice to have a little break to the stocking knit. I love it. It's comfortable. I'm actually a little warm right now in my house. It's definitely warm, but it was just a really, really fun knit. I loved the details of it, and it's definitely a keeper.
It looks great on you. And you know, you always talk about how sometimes it falls great on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Sometimes things don't fall as well there because you're so petite, narrow.
Yeah, I'm sort of smaller on top and
Mhm.
gets wider down here, which you can't see, thankfully. And it's one of those things that when it's laying out flat, like when I was blocking it, it looks like it's a little bit of a weird shape, I thought, but it fits beautifully. I love it. I did make it a little bit longer than the pattern specified, from here, because it was supposed to be a little more crop, but not happening anymore. Not that it ever was, but definitely not now. But I really love it, and I'm really happy, and I strongly encourage anyone to try it. It was a really, really fun knit, and because it's worsted, it's a fairly quick knit, and it just has enough interest in it, and enough detail that, I'm very happy with it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So that's what we're wearing. I guess next we are on finished objects. Kim, anything?
Ooh, I've got a good one. I know. My terrazzo sweater by Petite Knits.
Yay.
Okay, people. This is the best. It's so hard to show. It came out great. It was so fun to knit. Had a nice long cuff at the bottom. I did do a split hem. Made it longer in the back. The neck fits perfect. It's I think a twisted rib neck. It's nice and tight. It was a fun knit and fast. I think it was fast because I liked it so much, and I loved working with the Noro yarn. It was Noro Silk Garden Sock, and I used color 1S. It's kind of the color that the pattern she uses in her pattern, which is petite knits. So I can't wait for it to be about 10 to 20 degrees cooler. Today was kind of a warmer day for us, but I think it's so fun. I've already got it styled. I bought myself a really cool brown hat and some like fun little boots, and I'm ready to go to the grocery store.
Big day out.
Big day out. Exactly.
And there's mohair with that, right?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Thanks for saying that, Kate.
Sure.
Yeah, mohair spun right round. And really a beautiful mohair. I think I said it last time. It's very similar to Shibui knits. Really, really yummy. So, LORIEN, I'm sorry. Maybe you can find something else instead of mohair.
The spun right round.
Yeah.
I felt it when I was over at Kim's house a couple weeks ago. It really is like a soft mohair. Some of them aren't soft. Some of them are a little scratchy, but that was a nice one.
It's very nice. And I probably would wear like a little camisole underneath it just because it's pretty woolly, but I think you could probably do it against your bear skin as well. But I'm so psyched I ordered that and knit that. I couldn't wait. So bring on the weather, sweater weather.
You're ready. You're ready for Vermont. That's what you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for Vermont. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that it for you for FOs?
Yes. Yeah.
Kate, what have you got?
Okay. So I have my, again, almost finished FO. It's hard to see it in this light. This is Rich's sweater, the zip neck sweater. And if you noticed, there's still no zipper in it. I actually did take it to a tailor after our last podcast, and I had them put a zipper in it, and they did a horrific job on it. And so I ripped the zipper out. So I don't know if you can see it, but it was all like bunched up and squishy.
Terrible.
So no,
it was terrible.
It was terrible. However, literally right before coming on this podcast, I was on Instagram, and there was a post from Pick Up Every Stitch, which is a yarn shop in Mount Kisco, which isn't so far from us. And they were showing a cashmere zip front sweater. And look how lovely that zipper looks.
Wow.
Tomorrow, when they open at noon, I will be on the phone with them saying, like, who put the zipper in and can they do this zipper? Because I was thinking about doing it myself, and like I just, again, know my strengths, and that's not one of them. So anyway, Rich's sweater is still partially almost this close to finished, and
Your part is finished.
my part is well, actually not really. There's a the neck is like a double neck, so I have to wait until the zipper's in before I can sew the lining down in the back. So my part is very close to finished. All right, so that's FO number 1. FO number 2,
Dun, dun.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Posse shawl make a long loser. It is finally done. So this
She came
is
in last place.
my Venezia by Joji Locatelli, and it is in Ching Fibers Pure Merino. The color is soft gray, although there really isn't much gray in it.
It looks very nice with that shirt.
It does.
I'm still not sure the colors are for me, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's done. And the reason why it's done is because when we podcast last time, LORIEN had finished her 3 shawls and was moving on to her 4th, which was a Venezia. And I could not let her finish 4 shawls before I finished this one. So I finished it. And I love the pattern. It lays really well. Like, it's not fiddly. It's thin and long, like the shawls that I like to wear, or scarves that I like to wear. So I may knit it again at some point with another yarn because I really do like the pattern.
Mhm.
So that is finished object number 2. And then I made 2 hats.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
This is called Winter Walk. You can see the back is just plain.
Oh, I like.
Nice.
Yeah. It is in Barnyard Knits, worsted, New York City colorway. This was her colorway from VKL 2019, 2020.
2020
No,
this year.
Yep. So I was able to get 2 hats out of one skein. I love the colors. I may put a pom-pom on one and keep one, and then gift one for Christmas. But I really like this pattern also. This was, did I say Tracy Miller,
Yeah,
the Grocery
yeah.
Girls. This was her pattern.
I like that it's plain in the back or the front,
Yeah.
depending on which way you want to wear it.
Right.
Or the side.
Yeah. It was a fun pattern to knit. And you use 2, I think this was the one where you use 2 cable needles when you're knitting it. And again, floops to the rescue. I use these things all the time. Like every pattern I've been doing, I take them out. So Laura, again, thank you.
Good. I love finding them in my sofa cushions too.
Hopefully they're not sticking up.
No,
Yeah,
they're not.
they're sharp. They're sharp. So those are all my FOs.
That's good, Kate.
Yes,
Good
I've
job.
been busy.
Mm.
Okay, I have a few FOs, but they were palette cleansers because my current whips were just a little, I needed a break. And they're all the same pattern. So I knit this one first. I knit the Lenny hat by Isabell Kraemer. And yes, don't fall off your chairs, it's in mohair. So this is in all stash yarn, all scraps, because it doesn't need that much. Now, they're all a little 3 different sizes in a way. One I don't have, and there's a quick story there. This is in La Bien-Aimée, Yellow Brick Road. Mondim is the base. It's the one she did with Rosa Pomar. And I have a sweater that I knit for myself in it. And I think this is the medium size. I have a really small head, so I'm not gonna put that one on. But this is a gift going to a friend as a surprise. Not a holiday, just a gift. This one, my daughter liked as I was knitting the yellow one. She said, yeah, I like that. I said, would you wear that? She said, yes. She has pretty blue eyes. And so I had some blue left over from one of the shawls. And I had some mohair. This is probably the worst mohair you'd ever want to use because it was mohair and nylon, no silk. It was an old skein. It's soft, it's fuzzy. It's going on her head. She'll be fine. And then the last one that I made is on my phone because I had to ship it off. I don't know if you can even see those colors or if it's completely blowing out. I used that same white mohair as I did with the blue, and I used remnants of a skein of Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Singles in one of their like pastel bases. It looks a little, I'll put it on my Instagram soon. There's all 3 hats together. And I sent this hat to a yarn store that was collecting woolens for Warm the Line, hashtag Warm the Line, which was a project where crafters were asked to knit scarves, hats, cowls, gloves, mittens that would be distributed to people as they were waiting in lines to vote in cold locations. So mine ended up going to a yarn store in Lebanon, New Hampshire, called Scratch Supply Company, and along with just a couple of other hats and scarves that I had made but really wasn't wearing. Not recent knits, but ones I was keeping. So that was fun. Hopefully they got it, and hopefully it will warm someone while they're online.
What a great idea. Is that it for you for FOs?
That's it for FOs.
Oh, okay. I was expecting so much more.
Me too. It's like buckled up, ready to go.
3 hats isn't a lot. Okay, so I've been in a little bit of a knitting funk, and I have a project that I'll talk about in a little bit that's in a little bit of a timeout. And I went stash diving, which I should do a lot more often. And I knit, this is a very new pattern. It's called the Manifold Cowl by Amber O'Brien. And something just struck me about it when I saw it, and I was like, that looks fun. Talk about a palette cleanser. I had, this is a Rowan.
Oh yeah, is it felted tweed?
What?
Is it felted tweed?
Cashmere, and it's 95% cashmere, 5% wool. It's beautiful, and I got this, I think it's actually discontinued. I think they replaced it with something else. This is also blowing out. It's discontinued, and I think that it was marked down at, I think it was Webb's that I got it from. I got it from a couple of years ago, and I think I originally planned to make something else. I gotta do this justice. It's kind of like the shift cowl, very similar, where you knit it and then sew it together. And I just had these two colors. It's a DK. It has a beautiful lace, has this I-cord bind off and joinery here together. And I just needed something, and it was fun and easy, and it's
snuggly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cashmere. So yeah. So that was really, really fun, and it's kind of what I needed. I'm not exactly out of my knitting funk, but this helped a lot. So
what do you think it is? Just kind of, you've been busy, too much paddle tennis?
A little of everything. No, I think it's like the oncoming winter and being bummed out about so many things that are going on in our world right now. I don't even want to get into it, but I'm in a reading funk. Like, I can only read something if it's really light and fluffy. I don't.
Wow, that's not like you.
I know, and I just like. I also watched Emily in Paris on Netflix.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, and it was like exactly what I needed. It's like candy. It's like, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did, but I have another one. It's on Acorn TV, and it's called The Other One.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's perfect. It's just what you're looking for right now.
But like, I just need like light fluff. I need a
no-brainer.
I need no-brainer escapism right now. It's just where I'm at, and I'm just trying to like roll with it. And you know, knock wood, like my life is pretty much fine. Like, I've, you know, a few bumps here and there, but nothing horrible. But I just like, I don't know. I just, anything that pushes me, I'm like, forget it. I'm done. Like, I want light fluff, easy, wherever I can get it. So anyway, this was, I wouldn't call it light fluff, but it was easy. It was fun. It was quick. It was, oops, I got it upside down. It was just like
something different.
Yeah, I like it.
And I needed it at the time. I was like, I opened the drawers and I was like, what am I going to knit with? And I grabbed that and I was like, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to make with it. So it helped a little bit.
Yeah, good.
Anyhow, so that was it for my finished objects. What about whips?
Yeah. Kate, you ready?
I saw Remy.
Yeah, he's been photobombing the whole time.
I'm sure my dogs are too. I'm just not looking.
It's not my husband crawling across the floor back there.
Like mine.
That's yours too. Anyway, so Kate and I are doing something very exciting right now. We're doing a test. Very exciting for Isabell Kraemer, and it is called the Forager. And so Kate, why don't you tell them how it happened, and we'll share this segment.
So, I saw Isabell had posted her sample on Instagram, and it's the color, the yarn, the whole thing. I was just like, I need that, like, now. So I wrote in the comments, like, if you need any test knitters, let me know. And she gave me the contact information for the person that coordinates her test knits. And Kim saw it also and was like, I want to do it too. So she got in touch.
I bullied the email address out of Kate, and I emailed the woman who puts it together too. I'm like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'm going to be part of this too.
So we both ordered the exact yarn that Isabell used for the sample. We couldn't get past that colorway. Nature's Luxury. It's called Town and Country 100% cashmere. That, Laura, will get you out of your knitting funk.
I was this close. I was finishing up this test knit. I was this close to jumping in on that too. I wouldn't have done the same color as you, but I was close.
Ready, Kate? We'll do a quick thing. Okay. Cable on the front, 2 on the side. Oops, 1 in the back. And it's got I'm on the hem at the bottom. It's very similar construction to the Aldos that I just did. And so pretty easy. Well, her pattern's so great and so easy to follow, but she's such a fabulous designer. It's totally my style for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And this yarn is like, I told Rich, we might have to move to Germany because it'll save us on shipping so that I can knit everything in this.
Oh, no, it showed up in like what, 2 days?
I think it was I think it came like really like overnight DHL. So actually Kim and I combined our shipping together. So it was a little bit less, not a lot. But the yarn is luxury.
It's very expensive. The yarn was very expensive. I don't care.
It's 100% cashmere.
Honestly, it's a treat. It's a treat.
I knew 2 rows into my swatch that I was going to be in love with it, and I really am. So I actually finished. I did the length on the body and haven't done the ribbing yet, but I went to visit my boys this weekend in Boston, and I was in the car, so I couldn't try it on. So I set up the sleeves for 2 at a time sleeves. So that's what I'm working on now. And I can't wait.
We're going to double mint twin this all over town.
Yes, we are.
Taking selfies.
Totally. So it's getting 100% attention right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was worried we have a month to do it. And you hear that and I was panicking. I'm almost done.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I think the due date's like November 9th. Yeah. And we're close to being done.
So
would you guys have all done some test knits now? Are you feeling like test knitting is generally a positive experience? And do the designers, like, they're obviously letting you show what they've put together?
Yeah, we asked if we could.
Like, do they use like a group chat? Like, where do you give feedback? How does that work?
Yeah, well, I think Isabell Kraemer's designs are a well-oiled machine at this point, and she has someone actually who does the work for her by looking for the test knitters and who sets it up on Ravelry. We have a group that we joined. It's test knitters and lots of chat in it. I mean, and it sounds like she uses a lot of the same people as test knitters over, from her other sweaters. So they probably all know each other.
Yes.
That's a little bit overwhelming for me. Like, I'm not good at that. I don't have time to read Ravelry all the time and do all that. So I call Kate, or Elisa from Knitters League is doing it also. So
nice.
Yeah. She's done a couple of test knits for Isabell. I think she did the Alduis, or however you say it. And
yes, that's actually why I knit my Aldous first, because I saw hers and I was like, oh my God, I love that sweater. And I
does say in her directions, do not make modifications, LORIEN, without checking with them first, just to follow the pattern for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she does say the body length, of course, due to the length that you're comfortable with. But as far as other modifications go, they say don't, and just unless you want to email her and ask her. So
yeah. So my experience was almost exactly the same. And Joan Forgione of Paper Moon Knits isn't quite on the epic scale that Isabell Kraemer is, but very similar. Somebody was setting it up and monitoring it. Joan, there's a thread on Ravelry. I mean, all the kind of same thing, and same exact thing. Don't make changes. The only thing that I did was I made it a little bit longer, and I told her I was doing that, and she said that's totally fine, obviously. But I think that they want you to show it, because the whole idea is not only to just have people test knit it and make sure that everything's good in the pattern, but to create a little buzz about it.
Yeah, get it out there.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are like secret test knits, but this one is not. So she said we could show it and post it. And
that's good, because I'm terrible at keeping a secret. So
well, she posted it on Instagram. So it wasn't a secret to begin with. Sometimes I think it's a secret sometimes when it's like a yarn company and a designer working together and the yarn hasn't been released yet. So they want to come out at the same time. But anyway,
Well,
I would definitely test knit again.
yeah, me too. So
I
far,
mean, it has to be something that I,
right, that you love.
decided I like, or a
Right.
project that I really like. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do it if it wasn't, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You've never test knit, Lorien?
I have. I gifted
Oh, I
each
thought
of you
so.
something that was a test knit, and I've
Oh,
done
that's
other
great. Wow.
ones. I just, like you said, if something doesn't work to me, I don't want to knit it that way.
Right.
So I'm not a good person to do test knits, because if the directions either don't make sense or the garment isn't going to fit the way I want it to,
Right.
sorry, that's, if I'm keeping it, I've done sample knitting as well. That's a little different because you're usually being reimbursed, but so it just, I don't know, it just depends. And it depends, different designers give very specific instructions, and some give like decrease and figure out where you want to put them, so it just it certainly depends. But I'm good at giving a lot of feedback, because I make them better in the way that I want to see, or where something, like if a chart, one of them, the chart was wrong and I fixed it. So, which was fine. I mean, I had fun. I made 3 cowls, right, for you guys. So I had, I had fun, but I don't always find them fun, because I find, like, why am I, like, I don't know. I'd rather buy your pattern when it's finished and just get through it without figuring it out. So it just, I get the allure, but I also like to modify a lot of my garments. So,
well, when I saw this one, I knew I liked everything about it anyway. So, and there was not much to modify. So,
yeah.
Yep.
On that note, Lorien, what are your whips?
Well, I have a few. So this is an oldie but goodie. So I pulled out this bag, Laura. You'll remember this whip. Now, this is a bag I paid just as much in shipping for as for the bag itself, because it shipped from France. It's a French supply company field bag from
You could probably
LORIEN.
sell that for a lot of money now. She's gone out of business. So
Yeah.
that was always a limited edition, but now it's a really limited edition.
Well, I'm keeping it. Yeah, I'm keeping it. And my stitches have fallen off. But anyway, these are socks.
Oh, yeah.
I started them 2 Aprils ago. So it was a really long time. That's why Laura's smiling, because I started them in the car when we went to Connecticut Sheep and Wool together. And I just
was
put them
driving.
away. I stopped knitting socks, and it was a fun car ride, but I stopped knitting socks because I have a drawer full. But more on socks in another episode. But I am going to knit these. I did an entire exploration of sock knitting in a summer, and I think I'll save that. It's a long story, so I'll save that for when I really talk about socks. But the way that I like to knit my socks, I learned out of that exploration, is I'll do cuff down or toe up, but I will knit them in a tube, magic loop, 2 at a time. Actually, socks came before sleeves, people. So while we've shared more about knitting sleeves 2 at a time, I learned to knit 2 at a time, magic loop on socks first. And then I do an afterthought heel, just a plain old heel. And like I said, I'll talk more about socks, but I have picked these up because they've been sitting in this bag for way too long, and I wanted to use the bag because the color makes me happy.
Happy
So
color.
that's whip 1, and those are just vanilla socks. That's generally what I make. I did receive a gift from a viewer. I'm going to look that up when we do acquisitions off our last podcast, a sock pattern. Okay, so I showed you the yarn that I'm knitting this for Carolyn out of, which you probably can't see the bottom. This is the project that is knit in Playful Day yarns. It's in her Merino DK, and the color ways are, not only did she send me the colors, she told me where to place them in the pattern. So that was really helpful, Carolyn. This is Tiger. This is Viola. This is, I want to say Milk and Honey. And this is Forest. They're gorgeous. She has a beautiful color sense. And this project, this shawl is called the Codicus. I've already knitted a couple of times. I have one, I knit one as a gift. It's by Caitlin Hunter, Boylan Knitworks. And I made a few modifications. I slipped the first stitch for a nice little edge there.
That's pretty.
And it's color work, like stranded. So you have to do it on both sides. You have to do it on the wrong side. It's not too many rows. And I don't do a garter tab cast on. I find that they kind of, they bump up even when you stretch out. And I attended a class with Susan B. Anderson, a shawl design class at Vogue Knitting Live a couple of years ago. And she doesn't do a garter tab. And all she does is just a long tail cast on, leave a little tail, your long tail. And then when you're done, you just stitch it up. And so that's what I'll be doing with this. I forgot to mention earlier that Tara Lynn has not done an update in a long time, but she has one next week, the 26th of October. I'm not sure what time, so do follow her on Instagram because she's really great about that. She's going to have her yak base and a bunch of other things, but a lot of yak, which I think would be really beautiful for winter knits. So follow her. And then the last whip is, I can't pronounce it, but it's my South, I don't know how to say it.
It'll be in our show notes.
It's a sweater. This one has ferrule at the waist, and you know, it's gonna be, well, maybe I can open this up. And maybe I can't. Nope. Anyway, you'll see it when it's finished. That's enough. It's knit in this. I showed the yarn before, this Pegulal by Rosaria Rosa Pomar. And it's this the yarn is this really neat heathered green. I don't know if it's gonna show up there. That's better. Green and blue together. It's incredibly fine. It's fingering. It's going to bloom, but it's kind of like knitting, almost knitting with lace. It's very, very thin. And that's why I needed a break. I got as far as through the body, it's bottom up and then 3/4 sleeves, but I'm gonna knit them as long as I can. A little bit of color work on the sleeves. And the designer goes by, I can't even say it. The sweater's called Sao Lau Lu, and the designer is, it's gonna be in the show notes because I don't want to mispronounce it. I'm sorry. But I saw it online and I had to knit it. So.
Lorien, when you knit with sock, do your hands hurt?
Just because it's thin?
Yeah, just because the needles are so tiny?
When I knit socks even?
Yeah.
No, those needles are 2.25 millimeters. I don't think there's a US number for that. That was also part of my exploration. What size needle gave me the right gauge that I liked. I don't, because I try to use the right needle for, like I use this one, I have to, when I talk about it next time, I have to look at the needle packaging. These are Addies, but they're a very soft metal. And they're my favorite. But I could see how they were. And I tried 9-inch circular, I did DPNs. That's a story again for another podcast, but I will talk about it because I think I'm going back to sock knitting soon.
Okay.
Laura, I had another whip.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I have to show you this. Is it backwards?
No,
we can read it.
Okay.
It's called the Amaretto by Thea Coleman. And I'm actually I'm at the point where I'm going to start decreasing for the crown now. So it ends up looking like that.
Rich will end up looking like that?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe more like and it's knit in Mayak Cashmere that was on sale on their site.
New one? Or the
not the new one, the old one that went on sale before they got the new one. It is, let me see if I wrote it down. It's called Mayak Tibetan Cashmere and the color is ash.
Oh, great color.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Spoil that boy.
No.
Yep.
Making us all look bad.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, he is knit worthy and he will wear it. So there you go.
Very nice.
That's my other whip. Sorry.
That's okay. That was worth it.
Right.
Okay, so I have 2 whips. The first one is another palette cleanser.
Oh my God, is that for the boys?
Well, so it's a funny story. I knit one of these, my oldest son was up in Vermont, and he's like, Mom, I want a hat with ear flaps, which, you know, it's hard to actually find an adult pattern that had that. I knit him one, this exact same yarn. It's Blue Sky Fibers Techno, and it's this, like, it's Kate and Kim's favorite sort of khaki green. It looks a little more, it's a little not quite right on the screen. And he loved it. He wore it every day. He's like, it's part of my uniform. And then somehow it went through the wash and dryer. And it ended up about this big. Yeah, exactly. It completely felted. And so recently he's like, Mom, and it's literally, it's the easiest hat in the world. This is a Church Mouse Patterns. Oh. I'm sure I've said this before. I love their patterns. I think they're actually closing and only going to be online. Somebody told me.
That's what
their patterns and their style is very classic, very simple in general. They've got beautiful wraps. They'll do something like they'll knit one pattern, but they'll do it in a whole, like 3 different yarns, and they'll just has a totally different feel. I really like their stuff. But anyway, this is just a very simple free ear flap pattern. And it has these braided ties. And anyway, so that's a quick, so that's still in my vein of palette cleanser, just need something fun. And then my girl that's in the timeout for now, but I've got to get back to it soon, is my terrazzo.
Oh, you're taking
which, and I'm on my 2 at a time sleeves, which is the first time I've done that. And there's a lot of yarn because there's 4 skeins of yarn. So this is a little bit messy, but I'm just going to show you the bottom. I did the pattern calls for, and I knew that Kim did a split hem and a twisted rib. And I wish I'd listened to my gut, but I decided to try it. This is it's really a brioche ribbing with a tubular cast on, which
is why I didn't do it.
Very proud of myself that I did it, and it came out beautifully, but it definitely has pulled the whole bottom in. And as I said before, I'm sort of smaller, narrower here and get a little hippie, not horrible, but you know, like I try to dress to minimize that difference. And I think I'm gonna have to tear out this ribbing. I don't know if you can see, but this, so I'm using the exact same Noro, which is very, very hard to find right now, because and if you look at on Ravelry at the Terrazzo sweater, anyone who knits it in the Noro Silk Garden sock solo, whatever it is, almost everyone knits it in this color, and they're either like mostly solid colors, or if they're variegated, they're really dark, and it really sings in this colorway. But I'm using Rowan Kid Silkays. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah,
it's so fluffy, and it gets in my eyelashes, and every pair of pants that I'm knitting while I'm sitting knitting are covered in fuzz. And I just kind of had this moment where I was like, because I'm gonna have to rip that out, I think. I haven't decided.
Have you tried it on, Laura?
Yes, before I got into this mess, I did, and it wasn't terrible.
Blocking won't fix it?
That's the big question. And then I started in the sleeves, but I realized that I can't finish the sleeves until I know if I'm going to change this ribbing, because obviously the ribbing for the bottom, the ends of the sleeves, and the turtleneck need to match. So if I'm going to switch to just the twisted rib, so it's just in a timeout for now. But as soon as I do a couple palette cleansers, I might do another small project, another hat or something. I've got to get back to this. And I'm hoping that when I wash it and soak it, I might dampen some of the.
Yeah.
And please remind me never to knit a mohair sweater, a stranded mohair sweater, because I love the idea of it. Like I saw the new Espace Tricot, the classic black, and I was like, oh, I have to have that sweater. And I'm like, nope, it has mohair. Like so many of their sweaters do, and it's beautiful, but
It's got to be cold out.
Yeah.
well, it's also it gets in my eyelashes, it's on my mouth.
Well, I don't think this one right round does that as much. I think
I
it's more condensed and not as fluffy as yours.
Yeah, I'm jealous, but anyway.
Did you block yours, Kim?
I did. I blocked it, and it looks the same as when it wasn't blocked. Like it wasn't that puffy.
Yeah.
So
It's a beautiful sweater, and I know I would wear it a lot. Just have to kind of push through my
get through the funk.
Yeah, get through my funk. Anyhow, okay, what have we got next?
Acquisitions.
Anybody?
Oh, well, I had my cashmere yarn, so
yeah, me too. We're good.
On hold.
Yeah.
I have to pay the mortgage this month.
I know. Well, you guys were debating that, and you know, obviously it's an investment and it's an expense, but like to make yourself something that is so perfect and that you know you're gonna love, you know, if you can do it, then you shouldn't feel guilty about it.
I was guilty for about
What?
I felt guilty for like a second.
The yarn is so nice, and Danica,
Kate, we saved on shipping.
Nature's Luxury, yeah, she couldn't have been sweeter, and I was happy to support her. And again, it's 100% cashmere. And when you start looking around, like at some of the other 100% cashmere yarns out there, it's not as expensive as some of the others. So,
because I did shop around for other cashmere before.
So we actually saved money.
One of them was almost triple the price. I'm like, oh, forget that.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Anyway. I think I'm gonna knit that at some point, but probably not in a cashmere. Probably just in a, you know, what is it, DK or sport? I forgot. Sport.
I think it's DK.
DK.
Yeah. I'll find something.
Good question.
When the time
You're
comes.
gonna feel it, and you're gonna change your mind. I'm just saying.
I might.
So start saving now.
All right.
Nice. Does anyone else have anything else? Any acquisitions?
I have acquisitions.
Okay.
So I bought a bunch of things on webs. I bought some white. These are mostly workhorse yarns. This is Cloudborn. I have 3 skeins of this. This is going to be my next blanket, my northeasterly, along with some very colorful minis that I've been accumulating. I also noticed when I was organizing my closet for winter that I really didn't have pink sweaters. The one pink sweater that I had was the Ursa, and I gave it to my daughter because it looked better on her. So I decided I needed a pink sweater and a pink cardigan. And I found some pink. I found this one is Berroco Ultra Wool Fine. And it's a fingering. These are all going to be fingering weight sweaters. It almost looks white.
It does, yeah.
But it's a light pink. And then I also got this one, which is Milano Lamana. And this one's all wool. This one is wool and cashmere blend. So this one's a little more dusty pink. This one's a little more baby pink. One of these is going to turn into a Pink Velvet by Andrea Mowry as a steeked cardigan. And I will be videoing that steek process. I steeked the sweater I'm working on. I actually steeked the arms. That's not part of the pattern. Again, that's why I'd be a bad test knitter. But I was not going to use that really skinny yarn and knit front and back. It wasn't coming out evenly for 7.5 inches. Heck no. So I had a little more money left to spend, and I wanted to try their Surrey. Valley Yarns is the Webb's brand, I think. And this is I only have 1 skein of this. It's baby alpaca. It's not a Surrey. So it's not as floofy, but it's a lace weight, and I can hold it double. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a pink and pink for my pink velvet. It feels like I should now, or maybe a pink and blue. I also received as a gift some minis from a friend, and these are skewered. I stuck them on.
Smart.
Yeah, they weren't in balls, they were in little skeins.
Right.
But I balled them up, and some will go in my blanket, which I'm kind of feeling like my mitered squares blanket. We're almost at the end of this year, and I can't believe that I have had the discipline to like knit these little squares all year long. There's a part of me that just wants to sit with it and like finish it, like knit the last of the 400 squares that it will be. And then I decided I think I got to do an I-cord edge around it. So I think that's going to be some holiday knitting. I think that was all my acquisitions. Yeah.
Laura, do you have acquisitions?
I do not, shockingly.
Huh?
Well, except for that techno yarn that I just got recently to make the hat for Max. But,
Yeah, I like that hat. John might like that one. I might make that one.
yeah,
Did you say the
it's a
name of
fun.
the
It's
pattern?
really. Pardon?
Did you say the name of the pattern?
It's called the ear flap hat,
This is okay.
and it's Church Mouse. It's on their site for free. You can find it on Ravelry, but then it links to Church Mouse. And ear flap is one word.
Okay.
It took me a while to find it on Ravelry because I spelt it ear space flap, and
I would have.
their search engine is not the most forgiving sometimes.
It's very persnickety.
Yeah, but it's ear flap, or it's on Church Mouse's website, and it's just really simple, but it's really fun. And he really loved it. He wore it all the time, and then unfortunately, like I said, he accidentally shrank it.
Perhaps
But
you could give it to him with washing instructions this time.
hopefully he won't do that again.
Who washes the hat?
Yeah.
I think he wears it every day. I think it actually
It's
probably.
good, then I washes it.
Yeah. I wanted to also say this is the pattern that off of our last episode, a viewer gifted me a sock pattern, and I'm going to knit these socks in the yarn that I had showed that inspired her. Her name is Jackie. These are called the Sunday night socks.
Those are cute.
Yeah, so that was an acquisition. I just needed to get that photo up. So thank you, Jackie, if you're watching. I am excited to knit those because I like socks with texture. I don't love lace, and I feel like color work just sits in a shoe. But I do have cute clogs, so sometimes I actually wear my clogs to work today. And
It's funny on Instagram, you see sock knitters clearly like choose their shoes to maximize their, the clogs and stuff like that. It's funny to see that. But if you've got beautiful hand knit socks, why wouldn't you? I think I've got to get back to some socks. I think I just started with one that was fairly difficult, especially that fiddly in the round. And I have some self-striping yarn with like matching toe and heel things. And I just need to, it might be another good palette cleanser for me. The other thing I was thinking about, I'm sure you guys probably all follow Pearl Soho, that sheet bobble, that pillow.
Oh, that was cute.
It's been around for a while, and I've just been promoting it again the last couple of days. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so cute. It would be a palette cleanser too. It's fun. So. I'm
also trying to get out of my head the new, is it Moonstruck Knits shawl, the Antha?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? It's
a
a mosaic.
Yeah.
We did the Lune, and I still have not done my 41 tassels for my Lune, so I'm really trying not to.
41 tassels?
Yeah, I haven't done any of them, but
wow.
But the shawl's been knit, so.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shawl. I saw somebody knit it and posted it on Instagram. Like,
yeah,
that's.
I think the Caddy Jacks, one of them knit it, or both of them knit it.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty.
Yeah.
I think Dinah might have made some kits for that one. I think I saw it on her Instagram.
Oh my God, speaking of Dinah, the sweater, the cardigan that she knit.
Same designer.
Oh, is that the same designer?
The Letho. So I kept seeing and I was like, oh, it's cool. It looks like it would be really fun to knit, but I didn't think it was something I would want to wear. And then she did her little sparkle video dancing and I was like, oh my God, it looked fantastic on her. It was so cute. And I was like, oh, do I have to add that to the list?
Well, she's on her Christy Glass telling about that sweater. And it really looks cute on her.
Oh my God, adorable. I'm not sure it would look.
So I'm going to just say one quick thing about that Christy Glass video. I thought it was great. I thought it was so fun. I missed Rhinebeck so much. I missed going with you guys. I missed seeing everybody. I missed that beautiful fall day. And so I've got to say hats off to her because that was not an easy project to put together.
Yeah.
It was blood, sweat, and tears, I'm sure. And she did a beautiful job. And I smiled almost the whole video because seeing people we knew, seeing people happy, seeing beautiful sweaters. I thought it was a great video. Yeah. So
Yeah, I have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I have to. But
I can't believe I sat and watched the whole thing. It's 3 hours long, but I've got a test net I've got to get through.
I watched some of it today, and I agree with you, Kim. Like that must have taken her hours and hours and hours to edit it and put it all together. Yeah, she did a good job.
Really,
it was fun. Yeah.
And
the cataloging, right? Of
Miles was on it. LORIEN's on it.
Yeah.
So at about 2 hours in, somewhere around there, and then I have 2 clips.
Yeah.
And Caitlin Hunter is in the middle of them.
Well,
but I think what was,
best knitter.
Yeah. So. My friend Caitlin. No.
Yeah,
I think what was not only was all of the editing, but how she cataloged and grouped.
Yes.
It's basically like almost chapters of a book by designer.
Which was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And even at the end doing some crochet and then
did you see any sweater that you're like, oh, I gotta add that to my list?
I had a list of sweaters that I
awesome. I gotta watch
went
it.
back to double check on and it was just fun. Hers was great. The butterfly on her sweater.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was a great sweater. So
I believe she said she did that with double knitting. Or whatever. Duplicate stitch. Yeah, not intarsia, which I'm a fan of. Duplicate stitch, not intarsia.
I know. So that was fun to watch.
And she made one for her new puppy. Did you see that? The butterfly sweater for her new puppy?
Yeah.
So cute.
So cute. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, well, thank you everybody for sticking with us if you're still watching. And don't forget to leave comments and to like and subscribe.
Make a comment at the bottom so you can win those beautiful yarns.
We're gonna put that in Ravelry.
Yeah, that's a Ravelry.
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.